The Zanj Rebellion was the largest slave revolt in human history. Black sub-Saharan Africans rose up against their Arab Muslim slave masters in 9th century Iraq in an uprising that lasted 16 years. This is part one of a three-part series chronicling the most deadly, brutal, and largest slave rebellion in human history. This is a banned history never taught in the classroom. Everyone has heard about the slave rebellion that established the nation of Haiti, right? Well, what would you say if there was a different slave rebellion that dwarfed the Haitian slave rebellion? Ask any liberal on planet Earth, what was the biggest slave rebellion in human history? And they will invariably say that Haiti was the largest slave rebellion. Well, they are wrong. The largest slave rebellion that took place in human history was the black sub-Saharan Africans rising up against their Arab Islamic slave masters in 9th century Iraq, where they were worked to death in some of the most brutal conditions on planet Earth in the salt marshes of southern Iraq. This is one of the most insane stories from an era of history that is rarely, if ever, taught to anyone in the West. And I'm sure everyone can guess why this isn't taught in our classrooms. It's because it doesn't aid and abet in the historical fallacy of white man bad, brown man good. So watch part one of my three-part series that chronicles this descent into human brutality in one of the most monstrous eras in human history. I explore this topic of rebellion, castration, brutal violence, and rebellion using Google's artificial intelligence by asking it rhetorical questions that I already knew the answer to. The Zanj Rebellion was bigger than the Haitian Slave Rebellion, wasn't it? Yes, by total number of participants, the Zanj Rebellion was larger than the Haitian Revolution. This was from 869 to 883. Historians estimate that the Zanj Rebellion involved over 500,000 people, whereas the Haitian Revolution, 1791 to 1804, began with roughly 100,000 enslaved participants, while some estimates suggest as many as 350 to 500,000 people were part of the broader conflict in Haiti over its 13-year duration. The Zanj Uprising remains the largest in scale. And it shows the comparison of the two uprisings. Estimated size, Zanj Rebellion, over 500,000 participants. The Haitian Revolution, 100 to 350,000 participants. Duration, 15 years for the Zanj Rebellion, 13 years for the Haitian Rebellion. Outcome, the Zanj Rebellion was suppressed, capital destroyed. The outcome for the Haitian Rebellion, we of course know, was successful, independent state founded. Death toll, estimated 100,000 to 1.5 million for the Zanj Rebellion. An estimated 200,000 to 350,000 for the Haitian Rebellion. Why is Haiti often highlighted? While the Zanj Rebellion was larger in numbers and lasted slightly longer, the Haitian Revolution is historically distinguished as the only successful slave revolt in modern times that led to the permanent abolition of slavery and establishment of a new nation. The Zanj Rebellion, despite its massive scale and 15-year slave republic, was eventually crushed by the opposite military. I asked, what happened to the black slaves in Iraq, and how come their descendants don't populate modern Iraq like they do in the Americas? I knew the answer. While it is true that the African diaspora in the Americas was more visible, descendants of enslaved Africans, known as Afro-Iraqis, do live in modern Iraq today, particularly in the southern port city of Basra. Estimates of their population range from 500,000 to 2 million people. Their history and demographic presence differs from the Americas for several reasons. Shift away from plantation slavery. The Zanj Rebellion was so destructive that it effectively ended large-scale plantation slavery in the Arab world. After the revolt was suppressed in 883, the Abbasid Caliphate shifted towards using enslaved people primarily for domestic service, military roles, or small-scale labor. This prevented the massive, concentrated growth of an enslaved population seen in the Atlantic, King Cotton, or sugar economies. Integration and assimilation. Unlike the rigid one-drop rule often found in American history, the Islamic social context allowed for greater assimilation. Conversion. Enslaved people who converted to Islam could sometimes earn their freedom. Lineage. Children born to enslaved women and her free master were born free and legitimate heirs, which facilitated genetic and social blending into broader Arab population over the centuries. Systemic marginalization. Despite their presence, Afro-Iraqis have been historically invisible in national records. Lack of representation. They do not have official minority status or guaranteed seats in parliament like other groups. Christians, for example. Socioeconomic barriers. The community has faced long-term discrimination and is often relegated to low-income manual labor or entertainment sectors like music and dance, which keeps them on the social periphery. Limited documentation. There is a lack of verified census data on ethnicity in Iraq, making the population seem smaller than it is. Many Afro-Iraqis have also lost specific knowledge of their ancestral roots due to centuries of forced Arabization. It's real nice how Google tried to clean it up as to why there isn't any modern-day Afro-Iraqis. I think you can use your power of deduction as to why there are no current descendants in Iraq like there is in the United States or Brazil. It's for a very, very dark and disturbing reason, and you need to stay tuned for episode 2 to find out them dark and disturbing reasons. Oh yeah, I catch Google trying to lie, and I call Google out, and Google admits that I am right. Because the human mind is more powerful than this artificial intelligence.